To illustrate the reality of conversion, we go back to our text of 1 Corinthians chapter 6, and Paul gives us very clear instruction. In fact, it's so clear, it's almost obvious. And that's why he begins by saying in verse 9, or do you not know that the unrighteous will not enter the kingdom of God? There's a certain amount of incredulity in that. You wouldn't think for a moment that anybody would be foolish enough to assume that unrighteous people would be in the kingdom of God, who is righteous, who is holy. Are you so foolish that you don't even know that? The kingdom of God does not belong to those who are unrighteous. And if you are unrighteous, you have no part in the kingdom of God. That is a foundational truth that cannot be gainsaid. Now, what do we mean by the kingdom of God? We mean the sphere of salvation where Christ rules over those who have been redeemed through the work of Christ on the cross. The kingdom of God is made up of the converted, not the unconverted. The unconverted belong to the kingdom of Satan, the kingdom of darkness. The unrighteous simply refer to the unconverted, the unholy. And then Paul says, do not be deceived. Do not be deceived. So many people are deceived about what the kingdom of God is and who's in it. Don't be deceived. I'll tell you who's not in the kingdom. Fornicators, idolaters, adulterers, effeminate, homosexuals, thieves, covetous, drunkards, revilers, and swindlers. They're not in it, they'll never inherit it. The unconverted have no place in the kingdom. So the purpose of the church in proclaiming the kingdom of God and the salvation that gives you entrance into the kingdom is to preach the gospel that converts sinners so they can enter the kingdom. And look at this list. And it's a representative list. You could add other categories of sins, but it starts with fornicators. That's porneia, from which we get the word pornography. That's just general immorality of any kind. They're not in the kingdom. Idolaters are not in the kingdom because they're worshiping someone other than God or something other than God. That's false religion. Adulterers are not in the kingdom. Adultery means the violation of marital codes, marital pledges, marital covenants, violation of marriage vows. They're not in the kingdom. Thieves are not in the kingdom. The greedy or the covetous are not in the kingdom. Drunkards are not in the kingdom. Revilers or slanderers are not in the kingdom. And swindlers or extortioners, con men, criminals, etc., are not in the kingdom. Now, so far, I haven't heard about any laws that the government is going to make to forbid us from trying to convert swindlers or trying to convert slanderers or trying to convert drunkards or thieves. There are no laws made to protect those people. But they make laws to protect two of these categories, the effeminate and the homosexuals. Why is the government doing that? Why has the government selected sins to protect? Why is that happening? Because the government is under the sway of Satan himself. And the damage done by these sins is massive, substantial, and seminal, because it destroys human identity, destroys marriage, and destroys the family, and destroys children, and destroys the society. So the kingdom of darkness makes laws to protect the most destructive behaviors.